star play. Guess who? Body up the middle, making another move to the outside. 15, 10, end zone again.
Keeps it. Nice move by Brown. He's got space. He's got 6. 35-yard touchdown for Byron Brown. A record-setting night for the South Florida quarterback.
Down so far, a little bit of a high snap. Genty right up the middle. Genty has room. Ashton Genty, give him 6.
Second and long. Lagar tries to pin it in a row. It does. Runnels stays up. The Suns offense 4-3 wheels. Incredible effort for Runnels.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive Live, and we are excited to bring you another G5 college football coverage that you love each and every week. I am Luke, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justice. Another week of college football down. We're climbing to that halfway point, and guess what? We got an ODU win for our boy Justice. It's away, so you didn't get to maybe celebrate the way you might like at home, but
I went to a watch party, so I got to celebrate with other Old Dominion fans. So that was cool. Yeah, there's a local brewery here, Afterglow Brewing, that they are partnered with the NIL collective for Old Dominion, the Pride of ODU. They also recently released a beer where money gets donated to the NIL. And so they've been doing events for athletics, I don't know, since the summer. And they have really great beer too. So just a cool place. Got to enjoy it with other Old Dominion fans. So that was cool. Finally get the W. Harold Fannin Jr., man, dude, oh man, he's a beast. He's a beast. He was their offense. And I was just screaming, just triple cover the guy, put everybody on him or something, man. Because he was just torching Old Dominion, he did it to Penn State. He did it to Texas A&M. He's torched every team he's played this season. And Old Dominion was no different. Lucky to walk out of there with a win.
I did not get to watch as much college football as I would like this weekend. I got to celebrate. I had a college teammate, played college baseball, college shortstop. Brad Bloom made it into the Hall of Fame for our school, so I went back to celebrate with him and some teammates, and it was a blast. Tried to do things like we were young again. Don't recover quite as quickly as I used to, but we went to the bar scene. We rode. We have a drunk bus on campus that will take you to the bars and then back to campus. So we did a tour of that. We were fully immersed in the college experience. It was a fun weekend. It was about a 4.5 hour drive. So that drive back Sunday was a little bit rough. But went to our football game. Our football game did not go too well. I think it was 56-0. It was 10-0 at halftime. 10-0 at halftime and lose. I think it was 56-0, 63. It was not good. So, but hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, please give us a follow, a like, a retweet. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, please give us a rate and review. All right, let's get into our Week 6 preview. We've got a G5 versus P4 matchup, and that is Syracuse at UNLV. We've got Trick or Treat 123 asking us on YouTube what we think of UNLV versus the Syracuse matchup. I'm excited for this one. You've had McCord throwing the ball around the yard for Syracuse. I'm trying to. Why am I blanking on their running back's name?
LaQuint Allen.
LaQuint Allen. He's been being very involved in the passing game, and I feel like this is a game that he's going to have to be involved again because of that defense. Maybe some dump offs here and there. I really think the UNLV and that stout defense can stop Syracuse. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think if this was a game Matt Saluka was still the quarterback, I think they might lose. But I think with the passing that Hodge Williams brings, in addition to his running ability, I think this is a game that UNLV is gonna make another statement. Right? I mean, we saw them already beat Kansas, and they won that game, but it wasn't like they like beat them like super convincingly. They won, and I think UNLV is going to use this game as a statement. They're ranked in the top 25, and I think that that defense is going to be fired up. Jackson Woodard, Jalon Catalon, those guys are going to be fired up, and they're going to look to try to shut down this orange. And I think UNLV is going to get a very convincing win. I think UNLV is favored by 5.5, I do believe. I think the over under is in the upper 50s. I want to say like somewhere between 55 and 59. Yeah, I think UNLV is going to make a statement. The game's at home. They're ranked, and they're going to say, "Hey, here we are. We belong. We are your G5 representative for the college football playoffs."
All right. And let's get to our G5 versus G5 matchups. Let's see. Give me a quick second. And we've got Navy versus Air Force in the much anticipated battle here between service academies. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Navy's going to hang up 35 at least. Everyone knows Navy's putting up a lot of points this year.
One thing I failed to mention when we talked about the injuries is Dylan Carson's back. He played last week for Air Force. I haven't looked to see if he like started or if he even played a full snap load, but it's encouraging to see him back. He was expected to be the starter there at fullback for Air Force. Got injured, I believe, in their first week, and hasn't been back since. So it's encouraging to see that Dylan Carson's back out there. But yeah, Air Force doesn't look good this year. We know from our worker bee preview with Rick that they had a lot of turnover, a lot of lost production, both offense and defense, and so they're going to be looking to build for the future. But Navy is rocking and rolling, and I agree with you. I think Navy's gonna rock and roll here, but you can't ever really tell when the academies play each other, right? I mean, one can be really good and one can be really bad, but it's always like any rivalry. It's always going to be a fierce battle.
All right. Then we've got Army at Tulsa, Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go with Army in this one as they stay undefeated. Miami against Toledo, Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to take
big MAC
Toledo.
Game. Yeah,
I think big one.
It's a big matchup in the MAC. Miami hasn't looked as good as I would have thought they have, but they played a pretty tough out-of-conference schedule. This will be a tough matchup for the MAC. Could go a long way in deciding who is in that MAC championship game. But yeah, I'm with you. I like Toledo.
Colorado State, they've been a little bit disappointing this year from what my expectations were. Like I said, should get Horton back this week. They've got Oregon State Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I think I'm going to side with the Beavers on this one. What are your thoughts going into this? Justice?
Yeah, I think so as well. I don't know that the Colorado State defense is going to be able to stop that the rushing duo of Hankerson and Griffin there for the Beavers. And like you said, they've been a bit of a disappointment on offense as well. Maybe they'll be like JMU and use the bye week. And they'll come out guns a-blazing, but I got to see it first.
Utah State at Boise State. If Utah State has an answer to stop Ashton Genty, then sure, Utah State wins. I just don't think anybody has that. So
yeah, no one has that answer, right? I mean, the dude's averaging over 10 yards a carry. Like that's just insane, given the volume that he's getting.
Old Dominion against Coastal Carolina Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, Justice, I'm going with Coastal Carolina in this one coming off a bye.
It's a big game, I think, for the Sun Belt East, right? Because one of these teams wins, it could kind of propel them to be a contender in the Sun Belt East. We always play Coastal Carolina tough. Their starting quarterback, Ethan Vasco. If you don't know, he was originally committed to Old Dominion. He was committed to Old Dominion. He's a local kid. He's going to Old Dominion. And then lo and behold, P4 Kansas comes and cements an offer right before signing day. He signs with Kansas, goes to Kansas, realizes, hey, I'm not going to play here. Enters the transfer portal, ends up at Coastal Carolina. A little bit of extra in that game, ODU versus Coastal Carolina. ODU offense looked better this past week. Grant Wilson got hurt again. Colton Joseph had to come in, and I was impressed by what I saw with Colton, and I'm hopeful that the offense can continue to make strides to improve and that they can beat Coastal Carolina. But nonetheless, should be a good game.
And so being in Iowa, I'm much more of a Big Ten guy like that. I grew up and over the last couple of years definitely dove into the G5. Hence, we're here making this. The weirdest thing about Coastal Carolina, in my opinion, is people's take on how close they are to Myrtle Beach.
Well, it's not that far. It's like I don't know, 20-minute drive. I mean, they're not on the beach, but it's not like it's an hour away either. I've been there many times.
That is the most wildest, I feel like, weirdest argument that I kind of hear from people that that's what they talk about. They talk about the distance to Myrtle Beach, or they say that they're playing on the ocean or something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like people are very, very strongly passionate about Coastal Carolina and whether they are close to Myrtle Beach or not. I don't know.
It's pretty close. I mean, they're not technically located in Myrtle Beach. They're in Conway. But like I said, a 20-minute drive and you can be standing in the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not like it's super far.
All right. What do we got here? Gabe Davis. It's a 45-minute to get to the nearest sign of life. 20 minutes is nothing.
Absolutely.
All right. Getting into more games, we got South Alabama versus Arkansas State Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Gio Lopez is much-watched TV. Like I said, pulled for precautionary reasons. Hopefully Pritchett's back. If not, Voisin probably steps in there to the slot and maybe
to lead them. Yeah. I think the story of this is going to be how Arkansas State plays coming off the bye, right? Jalen Rayner has not looked good. And I read that they brought in somebody, and I forget who it was.
John Gruden.
There it was John Gruden to try to get Jalen Rayner out of his funk. So it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, Timmy McClain's kind of outplayed him the last couple of weeks before the bye, and so kind of be interesting to kind of see what happens. I think this is the game, right? That if Jalen Rayner does not look good, this is the game that I think they're going to make the switch to Timmy McClain and then go with that moving forward. This is kind of the last shot, I feel like, for Jalen Rayner now that we're here in conference play.
And then a really exciting game. James Madison, UL Monroe, I think, outperforming expectations. And then James Madison, I would say from the general public, doing what James Madison does without really knowing about all the nuances of the coaching staff changes and the players and all that stuff. I think James Madison also kind of, in my opinion, outdoing expectations too. So this is a really good game, and we'll see if James Madison can put up a whole bunch of points again.
Yeah, it's going to be a contrast of styles, right? JMU high-flying offense, UL Monroe wanting to play ball control and run the ball and good defense. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out. I think JMU wins the game. I don't think UL Monroe just doesn't – I don't think they're quite to the level of JMU yet. but they've been certainly impressive so far this season.
And then Nevada at San Jose State at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. San Jose State coming off a bye. I think this one will be high scoring. Nevada likes to toss the ball around. So this one could be a sneaky fun game to watch. I don't know the over-under, but I'd be tempted to take the over in this one.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, both teams have offenses look good. Defense is not so much. And the over-under is only 48.5. That seems pretty low for this game.
Yeah, I feel like San Jose State could do that.
That feels like an easy over.
Yeah, I feel like San Jose could do that themselves. I'm going to rate that one. I got to rate this one so I don't forget.
The spread is San Jose State minus 7.5, total of 48.5. I'm looking on ESPN, so it might vary about other books, but still, that over-under seems too low for that game.
All right, and then Hawaii at San Diego State at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hawaii is coming off a bye. San Diego State, they should be getting their quarterback back.
He was back this past week, or he was back before, I guess, the week before, Danny O'Neal. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a disappointing season for San Diego State, I think, to this point. But maybe they'll get right against Hawaii. This could be another one that could have some sneaky shootout potential as well.
Come back and join us next week as we discuss what happened in Week 6, as well as look forward to Week 7 of the 2024 season, as well as bring you all up to date on the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, please give us a retweet, a like, and a follow. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings and review. Thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.
Let's go!